and welcome everyone to Red Stain Radio, a Dead by Daylight podcast. I am one of your hosts, Bryson, and I'm joined by my lovely co-host, Stevie.
Hello.
And Maddie.
Hello, people.
Thank y'all for being here. How we doing? We good?
Fantastic.
Awesome.
Wonderful week so far. Last week, fantastic.
Awesome to hear.
I'm pretty good myself. I'm starting my final year of university, though
Exciting.
it would have been tomorrow, but my teacher got sick, so it's actually going to be in 2 days.
Hey, there you go. You get a little more time off your break, so that's great. This is episode 11 of Red Stain Radio, where we'll be covering our thoughts on the 9.2 update, which includes gameplay changes to slugging and tunneling, a major Michael Myers rework, and an original chapter inspired by Thai folklore, and a lot more. We're actually recording this the Tuesday before the PTP comes out, so we're unfortunately not going to be able to try anything out today, and we're not going to have any thoughts on that. So this is just strictly face value, our thoughts. We're excited to get into the PTP later this week, and we'll have more thoughts on that next week, I'm sure. But first, I want to remind listeners that you can send us in your questions, discussion ideas, and comments by emailing us at redstainradio@gmail.com. We'd also love it if you left us a review on the platform you listen on. This is mainly for listeners. If you listen on Spotify or Apple Podcasts or anywhere else, really, those are the only two I really know off the top of my head that do support reviews. If you left us a review, that'd be very kind of you, and that helps us reach new listeners. So if you left us, we'd be extremely grateful, and we appreciate the support.
No pressure.
In addition, no pressure. It's not a big deal. 2 notes I want to put here. We do have some listener emails. We have a backlog a bit, so this episode's pretty meaty. I'm not sure if we're going to get to those. It's going to depend on the runtime. If we are running long, we're probably not going to get to those. If we do, we'll get to one, but just know we'll eventually get to them in future episodes. Don't worry there. One more note before we get into our thoughts. A little bit of a milestone for us. We've reached over 1,000 downloads across 10 episodes, which is exciting. We did that over the weekend, so thank you, listeners and viewers. We really appreciate your support.
Thank you, everyone, for listening on
it. Oh, we love you all so much. Oh, we love you guys.
Oh, it's wonderful. So I got the email over the weekend. I was like, oh, that's so cool. That's so cool. So thank you all so much for the support.
In every way y'all can.
Thank
you. Great.
Our fellow fog enthusiasts.
One more thing before we get into the meat of this episode, we want to remind everyone that the community cosmetic finalists have been announced. They're out there. You can vote. You can go view those. Don't forget to vote for your favorites. You have until September 5th at 11:59 p.m. Eastern to vote. So go quickly and vote for those. Really great options out there. I'm excited to see who wins, and we may be doing something around community cosmetics. It depends on certain things, but a little bit of a tease there for you in the future.
See what we line up.
Ooh.
Yeah. So with that further ado, let's get to the topic of the show. We have a huge update. Behavior dropped patch notes for the BTB that's coming out Wednesday, the day this is coming out. And it's got a lot of stuff here. Slugging, tunneling, and such. We're going to get into some of that, but we're going to start with the smaller stuff, and then we're going to work our way towards the bigger, meatier stuff, because there's a lot to chew on there, but we mainly just want to get on through some of these very quick ones. So let me scroll down to my very bottom of my list. And the first one I will kind of jump into are the tomes. They're going to be adding the lore back to the tomes, because of right now I don't think they're there. So if you're unlocking parts of the old tomes, you can't really look at the lore that's associated with them. So in the next one, they're going to be adding some new UI that will allow you to look at all those tomes, even if you don't have them unlocked. I think they're going to unlock them for everybody, just so you don't have to do those challenges specifically, which is great. So you don't even have to go through the old tomes. You can just go read all to your heart's content. In addition to that, they're going to be releasing new lore each week with active tomes. So I think it's going to be coming out weekly, which is really cool. The lore buffs, I'm sure you're super excited for this. I'll jump to you first. What are your thoughts on this?
Honestly, huge W. Finally, the lore is back. I've been waiting every day, every night. I've been going to sleep like, add lore again, please. Hakushu. And now it's finally back. I'm a little sad, though, that we didn't get a lot of lore, like any lore for the last 2 tomes, just because we finally got Hattie as a main survivor.
Yeah.
And we also got Elodie as a main survivor, who are 2 survivors who are really cool and have really good lore, but nothing else. And then we got literal crumbs, and then we got Dredge and Knight, who are cool, but it's also like we have stuff. How about our ladies, our badass woman? Come on. So I'm a little disappointed about that, but it's looking like the newer way they're going to be doing this is that newer killers and survivors are going to get more lore, which is both a plus and a minus. Maybe they'll kind of do like mid-patch stuff where we'll get original stuff too. That's my guess, and that's what I'm hoping for. And talking about guesses, just sorry to toot my own horn. I was a prophet. Several things that happen in this PTV, I predicted. I'm gonna honk my own fucking horn as soon as we get to those parts.
Do it. Please
Especially
do.
Michael. Because, oh my god, I fucking predicted so much of the shit. Anyways, lore's a W. That's all I'm gonna say.
Stevie, your thoughts on the lore?
Lore is a huge plus, and I agree with you, Maddie. You called it all. I just want everyone to know that you got that Nostradamus. But this
Right on the
Tomes
target.
update is exactly what we were asking for. I can guarantee it'll probably come with like side bug fixed all the unachievable tomes that we could find. Thank you for, pointing out the streetwise ones.
Exactly.
But there's just so many challenges that I don't think they want to keep adding little tiny rewards for little tiny challenges that might bug out later down the line. But
Especially
the
with
tomes lore, right? If it's still hooked up and they don't want to gut it, this is it.
yeah.
If we do get like an influx of lore with like a new character and we're missing out on old ones, we could see like quick patches where they just sneak lore back into it, because it seems like they could fit this into like a hot fix. It's just a new tome update.
Yeah.
They can keep adding it very frequently. They don't have to press a whole new tome with a battle pass every time.
Exactly.
Now they can do it at their pace for the
It
lore.
could be like even little stuff like, did you know Ace lost his toe in a bed? Or did you know that the plague is canonically atheist? Obviously not, no. But you get the point. Just like little stuff like that could be pretty nice, especially during like dry patches, especially for this year, because we're gonna have like I think like 3 or 4 months where we're basically getting nothing. So
Yeah.
these are gonna be nice just to add a little bit of something.
Like a steady stream of lore versus the big giant wave they used to do.
Yeah, like big swaths of it. And it's great that you don't have to unlock it. You don't have to go through and grind through all those old tome challenges, because, God, those old tome challenges are rough. But yeah, the new quest system circumvents that, so you don't have to go through and get all those, and you can go through and watch all those videos and read those little comic strips and look at all the art and such. So yeah, it's a good time for lore enthusiasts. Next up, we're going to jump onto some killer tweaks. These are kind of just the most notable. I actually think we have them all here. First up, Clown. The activation time for his antidote is longer, so you now have to think a little bit more when you throw it. It's not as mindless. And then the increase the tonic's hindered effect after leaving the smoke. So it's got a bit of a lingering effect before. I think most people are okay with this. I'm not sure. I'm not a Clown enthusiast. Like, I'm not super into Clown. We know we have a Clown hater on the podcast. It's okay, Maddie. I'm not a fan of Clown either. But like, I think this is a little more in the right step. They made tweaks, so I've not really seen a lot around Clown regarding these tweaks. But I think these are good. Does anyone want to comment on these?
Stevie.
This is exactly what it needed. Clown was always unfun to play against. That's not really going to change if you don't fix the character and re-gut him. But this buff just made it mindless. That was it. You just throw the bottles on the ground right in front of you, no positioning, and you walk in a straight line. And it was the bottle activating about a second and a half earlier than it used to. Second and a half is more than it was buffed, actually. It's about a second. But 1 second of killer movement is like a couple more meters than a survivor. Then extrapolate that over 3 or 4 seconds. They're just closing that gap way sooner. And there's so much little options when you don't have a whole second to work with. Now the positioning will matter, the arcs will matter, mixing the two bottles together in a loop will matter a little more. Clown's not going to feel any different to face, but
Unfortunately,
it'll be better. You'll still get 4 escapes, but it'll be brutal.
Maddie, any thoughts here?
I don't know how much I can say because I'm pretty biased against Clown, and this is a pretty meaty episode, so I'm just gonna say I'm glad they did it, but I kind of feel sad this feels like a kind of like a revert to everything they did before.
Yeah. And people were telling them, don't go through with these Clown changes, and they did it anyways, and here we are a month later, and
What's the
we're
point?
pretty much back to the original. So yeah, these are good changes. I have nothing else. The next one I do have a comment on is the Ghoul, who I am very much a critic of, and that comes when it's kidnap tech, and they've kind of reduced that effect, which is when grabbing a survivor on the other side of a vault location, survivors are released at the start of the Ghoul's vault instead of at the end. So normally you would not be released out of that kidnap tech until he was over the vault, and then he could hit you within the next couple seconds. Not a very long cooldown. This will allow you to get a little bit more distance, which is good because a lot of people were really upset with that kidnap tech. And so I'm a little bummed these are the only gold changes in this patch. I get it; it's another meaty patch. We've got other stuff in here. I do think the ghoul needs more tweaks, but I think this is a good start.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Any other
Yeah.
comments on this one?
Honestly, I feel like the reason why they're scared to like nerf Ghoul is he's like, I think he's the latest killer that's like above A+ tier to most people. Like he's one of the strongest killers in the game in a long time.
Yeah.
Like I think our most recent one besides the Ghoul was Blight, who came out like years ago. So they don't want to gut him and take away another powerhouse killer because then he's just going to be in a tier of mid when there's already so much mid. They want the Tokyo Ghoul to be that Tokyo Ghoul, not
But the mid is
Mr.
where the
Ghoul
good
who's
stuff's
going
at.
I agree.
There's also kind of the fact that, in my opinion, I have to test it tomorrow, but does it really matter if the person who's getting kidnapped teched at the start of his vault versus the end of his vault? Like, that's maybe like a second more distance, but like
Yeah,
at
it's
that
maybe
point, I feel
0.5
like it's kind of
seconds.
like you're
Yeah,
already dead. I'm sorry, bestie. Unless there's like a powerful
unfortunately.
window right next to you, you're gone.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Stevie, thoughts?
I want the ghoul to have more flash to him. I think the reason they added this change is that they want to figure out a way to stop the kidnap tech because the counterplay that emerged from it didn't look great. It was a weird way to play. You just camp these pallets in front of this bloodthirsty monster because you know that like there's a slight tell when it's okay to do something. This was a weird, like you just have to be not afraid of the killer to play against it. And I think it looked weird the way a strong team would beat a ghoul. I think that this is going to allow weaker players and stronger players more leniency in chase, while also encouraging the ghoul player to kind of go for more flashy attacks, spreading pressure. It's not going to be so much of a I can just walk this survivor down, and even if they get to a pallet, I can respect it, respect it, respect it, and one through it.
Yeah.
And that was a weird time to know that that's the counterplay, and you're just in these awkward situations against the ghoul. Now you can you're not at a standoff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the subreddit had a big old like flow chart on what to do based on the ghoul, and not intuitive in any way, which really sucks. You shouldn't have a flow chart to counter a killer or to learn against a killer, which it sucks. But yeah, I'm. This is a good start. Hopefully, we see more in the future. I would like to at least because the ghoul is. Oh man, it's rough. 2v8 has been a nice break from the ghoul, for me at least.
No.
Other changes, the Unknown is getting some quality of life improvements and some slight buffs to make him a little more enjoyable to play. For example, his UVX, you can actually shoot it up higher vertically. His camera goes up further, which is great. You can get some really cool shots, so that's going to make Unknown players even better. You Unknown mains really impressed me with some of your trick shots occasionally. And then some add-on changes to make some of them base kit, and then also just kind of improve their ability. And then recovery from movement after teleporting, that's just kind of been improved. So that's good for him. Oni is getting another change. He's getting more blood when he hooks you, which is great because before you only got like 2 little ones and it wasn't a lot, so you can get your power faster. And then finally, we have Dark Lord, who's also getting some tweaks. He shoots flame pillars more often with an extra pillar, so there's a shorter cooldown on that. Wolf form pounds takes longer to charge up, and orbs take slightly longer to spawn. That wolf form was really powerful. I know essentially when I went with a Dark Lord, they switched to it immediately while in chase, and they got me down very quickly. So I think that's kind of a good one. And then bat form is apparently easier to control, which we'll figure out if that is right tomorrow. So that's good because it always felt a little weird to
It was always
fly around
icy.
him.
I
Yeah,
hated it
yeah.
so
I
much.
see that. That's a good way to put it.
Like you're ice skating a little bit. Yeah, that's a great way of putting
Exactly.
it,
Hate
actually.
it so much.
So overall, great changes. I don't think anyone has a problem with these, unlike the last patch where they were touching the knight and various other and clown and such. So
Yeah.
good stuff there. Let's see here. Let's get to. I'm gonna instead of the Myers rework, let's jump. I'm gonna jump to slugging just because I think
Yeah.
there's a little bit there. That seems like a smaller update that I think maybe we're all aligned on. I'm not really
Oh yeah.
sure, but so let's go to slugging reduction update. Survivors can pick themselves up after being left on the ground for 90 seconds. Once
Hmm.
you've reached, and the bar looks like an anti-camp bar. It's very similar. It's right underneath the recovery. Once reached in a match, you only need to fully recover normally to pick yourself up, meaning that the 90-second timer does not reset. So if you're down once, the 90 seconds is up, you're down, you pick yourself up, and then maybe, 2 gens later, you get down again. You do not have to wait 90 seconds. All you have to do is just recover again, and you can get back up. They also added base kit tenacity, which is where you can recover and you can move the same time. And recovery now occurs passively, so you don't have to hold the button any longer, which I think is a great accessibility option. I love that one. For me,
These are
I
these are really good in my opinion, just baseline.
I agree as well.
Yes.
So I have 2 tweaks I would make to this. One, get rid of
Yeah.
base kit tenacity. I think you should have to choose between moving or recovering. I think there's a strategic element to that, just how it is now, whether you could, okay, they've slugged me. Should I recover now or should I move and try to get away? And then maybe we have a little bit more leverage where the killer's trying to find you. Um, and I think they should make this disabled in the in game or when all the gens are completed, just because that's something they do for all these other systems. For example, the tunneling system, which we'll get into in a second, they do that for the anti-camp feature. So those are kind of my 2 tweaks I would make to it. Otherwise, I like this update overall. So, CV, I'll jump to you first. What do you think?
Just going over like the numbers on it, it could seem a bit awkward. Like somebody just hits the ground and they have unbreakable. As it works right now, they'll probably change every perk that activates when you hit the ground.
Yeah.
But as it stands, if unbreakable is, the same, and you're a killer who really likes to look for flashlight hunters and stuff, you're gonna have a bad time just kind of losing people in the grass. That's gonna be way more common since tenacity-ish is gonna be base kit. You're still gonna be moving at 50% walk speed and leaving blood on the ground.
Yeah.
But I think that's a fun new part of the thing, like a good little addition. I like tenacity base kit. Fair to say, it's pretty cute.
Okay, so we got two different opinions. Bryson's like, no,
Everything else
this
I agree with, but like
I'm
that's
not
the
a
one
hard
thing.
no.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
just think it's a little. I don't know. I
much.
don't think it's necessary. And
It'd
then
be
tenacity could
frustrating
just
right next to
stay.
pallets, right? You
Yeah,
down
and then
someone right
tenacity.
there.
Yeah, and then tenacity could just stay the perk it is. Like you can do both now.
Yeah.
Or they'd have to tweak it a little bit, but still. But Maddie, what are your thoughts?
Oh, okay. Oh, am I gonna be in the majority or the minority? Ooh, ooh, ooh. Anyways, honestly, I feel like all things around this is just good. There's not one
Yeah.
thing that I can think is negative about this change because not only does it get rid of really toxic slugging gameplay, but it also makes it so there's a bit more strategy in a killer besides like, oh, I downed a person. Bye, Steve. And then they just leave them there for like a minute, then come back, and then it's like, oh, Steve, you didn't get saved by your teammates. Fuck you, you're dead now. But now there's
Mhm.
kind of like a strategic gameplay of, oh, if I leave the Steve here, then he's gonna crawl away and probably get up on himself, and then he's gonna have that for the rest of the match. Or I can hook him now and face like decisive or anything that's like tunneling related, which we'll get into a bit because that's kind of like, but like I kind of like that strategic gameplay of like, hey, you can't just leave them on the ground anymore. And some people may say, oh, but that was a good thing because it forced survivors to do these things. In my opinion, most of the time when people make that, it didn't really feel like you were forcing people in a situation where they were like mind games and stuff. It just felt like I slugged your teammate. You have to save them now while I go do something else. But I could be nearby. It was just really boring because it was the same mind game, same kind of like same scenario every single time. The only thing that changed were like perks and the killer. And yes, those things can be pretty drastic, but like at the baseline, it got kind of annoying. And there's a reason why people hate slugging so much because it was the same thing all the time. One person doesn't get to play the game, the killer gets to play the game, and everyone has to play the killer's game to try and save that person. I do agree that maybe kind of having like the ability to pick yourself up after you reach 90 seconds cumulatively might be a bit of an issue. I would not mind seeing it go down to 80 seconds, but it's only one time. So it's like 80
Mm,
seconds left on the ground, you pick yourself up, and then it resets when you go down on the ground again. Or maybe even less than that if people
I
want to
like
get
that
like
idea.
more instead of like cumulative, because I feel like that would
Yeah.
be kind of an issue. But like overall, it's something that we have to test out because we've never seen something like this before, except for like when they did that weird thing where it was like if everyone is down or hooked, you get to Mori and the game ends, and then everyone had basically
Yeah.
unbreakable. So we'll have
Crazy.
to test it out and see how that works. My first looks at it are this seems really good. Maybe adjust the timer and maybe whether or not they have tenacity or not. We'll have to test it out to see how that feels. But overall, really great change. Love this. More like
Hmm.
this. And maybe less about the tunneling updates.
Yeah, I'm totally with you. You bring up a great point. If you're a killer going into a game and you're saying, I'm going to slug everyone. First of all, an asshole move. Second of all, slugging does have a strategic element to it, right? You can
Yeah.
slug someone. Maybe you got a flashlight. Someone got a flashlight save earlier, and you're a little wary and such. Or maybe there's a bully squad, and you're kind of dealing with that. I understand it. Slugging is absolutely a tactic in that situation. However, if you cannot get someone down within 90 seconds, you need to go back for the pickup. Like
Mm-hmm.
that's on you to go back to pick
Yeah.
that up, person up, and maybe add even additional leverage to the game on your side. Because if you can't get someone in 90 seconds, another person down in 90 seconds, go back and pick up. You do not need to be running around in 90 seconds. That should give you plenty of time to get someone else down, or maybe add a little pressure, or go kick a gin, or whatever. Um, but this ultimately kills slugging as an asshole tactic. Like you will not be able to slug anymore for the win. Like you will have to put people on hooks. So I
Yeah.
like that change a lot. Unfortunately, Twins is probably going to be affected a little bit by this. Slugging is
About them.
pretty. Twins is a pretty serious like. Unfortunately, Twins is designed where slugging is like
Main
their game.
thing.
Yeah, like which is really unfortunate. However, this system needs being put in place for survivors and players to have a good time,
Yeah.
and Twins just needs a rework. Like Twins is just I think
Mm.
is a poorly designed killer. So I think that comes down to the design of that kit. So unfortunately,
Make
but
Victor an AI. Make him AI, baby.
yeah, I mean they have bots now, so why
I'm
not?
Yeah.
I'm
So
Oh, we
curious
got
to see how
zombies?
the YouTuber Dwightl Jackson is going to handle this change.
mhm.
No.
Uh, I don't know. You probably don't know him, or you would have thought about this, but
There are
he
twins
just
coming
plays
from soon.
Billy, and he plays Billy to such a
Oh, really?
degree that he just slugs everyone, and
Ugh,
and he just goes around and puts everyone on the floor before he hooks anyone.
Mhm.
Um, it works most of the time, you know what I mean? Unless a team is really efficient and knows how to play against a Billy and knows how to play against a slugging Billy.
Oh.
yeah,
He makes most every team fold, so I am curious to see this kind of just ruin his fun if he still plays.
Or
wow,
maybe he finds another way. Maybe he adapts.
Yeah,
Maybe
he
he's like,
just slugs people, and then if they DC, he DCs. And if
that
if he puts them all on the ground, he has 90 seconds to hook them all.
yeah.
yeah, that's actually one thing I was thinking about is what is stopping a killer from slugging someone and then just camping their body. And then when that 90 seconds comes up, they recover and they get up and they just knock them down again. Kind of holding that person hostage. Yes, you're going to lose the game like you would if you camp, like a
Yeah.
basement bubba or whatnot. But unfortunately, that's
Yeah.
probably going to happen, depending,
Yeah.
But like it's,
But then now you're not dealing with anti-camp timer. Now you're not dealing
yeah,
with
Yeah.
unhook perks. Now you're not
yeah.
dealing with base kit unhook protection.
So
You
you're
just
kind
have
of
90
throwing the
seconds.
game if you're just going to
Mhm.
camp someone
Yeah.
like that.
Oh
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
but there will be people like that for sure.
There will
Killers
be
will do it out of spite. You pop
a-holes.
3 gens, they're liable to do anything in your face.
Oh
They're like,
yeah,
you
yeah.
are mine. You will die now.
So yeah, so this is a great change. I think everyone can agree. Slugging is not fun for
Mhm.
for survivors. Like that's just keeping you hostage in a game. This is great. This is a good change. I love
Yeah.
it. So, and I think most of the community is aligned on that. Just maybe some tweaks here and there. We'll see how it is in the PTB.
Yes.
Now, before we get to the tunneling, I want to go to the Michael Myers update
Ooh, okay.
because I have some thoughts there. Because the big bulk here, I think, is the tunneling update, and I think we'll spend most of the bulk of our time discussing that
Oh yeah.
because I
Oh,
have so many thoughts
100%.
there.
Yeah.
But I have even more a lot of thoughts about Michael Myers, especially as he's one of my 3 favorite killers that I play.
Oh good.
So
Okay. We
he's
have Mike enjoyers in the chat.
yeah,
Good.
Ooh.
absolutely.
I'm not the
so
only one.
Mike
Yeah,
and Joy.
it's funny. Two of my favorite killers I like to play are F tier killers, Michael and Trapper. So that's
Damn
really
right,
unfortunate
damn
for
right.
me.
Oh my
But
Guy
god,
with
I
a
he's
love
knife.
so
Guy with a
fighting,
knife.
guys.
Oh yeah. Well, also like I just love his ability. Like it's just kind of chill. Like same with Trapper, I guess. But like
You're just
it's so
stalking them
satisfying.
and then you murder them with your hand.
Yeah,
You
I
know, it's
don't
pretty
usually do
chill.
Tombstone. I'm not a Tombstone guy. I prefer Scratch Smear, or I just like just to run him as usual. So, but let's get into
Ooh,
this.
okay.
So, Evil Within now has two modes that you can
Oh,
toggle between at will. So, kind of like other killers like Vecna or the Dark Lord. So, there's Stalker mode where you move 4.2 movement speed, you're undetectable, and you can stalk. There's Pursuer
nice.
mode, which is 4.6 movement speed. You're a little faster. You have a 24-meter tear radius. You have an increased vault speed, bonuses to lunge attacks. Your break speed is improved. Your stun recovery is shorter, and you cannot stalk survivors. Now, once the stock meter is full, Evil Incarnate mode can be triggered at will, which grants these effects. So you no longer have to 99 it like you did the old tiers. So you have these effects when you hit that Evil Incarnate mode button. 4.6 movement speed, 4-meter tear radius. So your tear radius almost doubles, which is crazy, but it's always. I think that was. Evil Within 3 was 40 meters, right?
If you want the numbers, Evil Within was only 32 meters. You
Okay.
had half of that with Evil Within 2. So you were technically undetectable, 0 meter tear radius, Evil Within 1, up to 16, and then plus 16 more back to the normal 32.
Gotcha. Good to know. Good to know. And you also have increased vault speed. This also unlocks the ability to slaughter strike, which is essentially Super Coup or Chucky's Slice and Dice is what some people like. He's tall Chucky now. Essentially, the length of the lunge depends on how much you charge it. So there's a bar, you charge it, and then you'll go far. It's similar to Nurse's Blink. The longer you hold it, the further you're going to go. Survivors hit with this lunge go into the dying state, and it can destroy pallets. And a couple of things here really quickly. Myers can Mori survivors if they are on death hook. Great change. I don't mind that at all. If you're dead and you're on the ground, you might as well make it quick, right? They removed the limited pool of stock points per survivor, so they're not going to highlight red like you normally would, and like get it really bright. You can stock them through the whole thing. They reduced the stock range to 32 meters. And moving while stalking has increased movement speed, but reduces the stock rate. And there's some add-on reworks, which we'll kind of touch on a little bit later. But I first want to get y'all's thoughts on these changes in general. Maddie, I'll jump to you first. What do you think on Slice and Dice Myers?
I have so much to say, so I'm just gonna say they made him a fucking dash slap killer. Oh no, my Shayla, well, not my Shayla, but Shayla, they turned dash
Yeah,
slap.
poor
Okay,
Mikey.
feelings aside, I kind of don't like they made him a dash killer because both gameplay wise, I'm tired of them. We have like 8. We don't need another one. And 2, I don't remember any time in the movie where he dashed like that and he was like, whee! Like that did not happen. He would not fucking do that.
Yeah.
But besides that, most of the changes are good. I don't really like the max range on stock. I feel like it should be either limitless, kind of like it was with what his like old Mikey, but like a reduced rate. Just because I feel like that's weird when characters. I could be wrong. I think Ghostface doesn't have like a max reach distance. Like he can do it from pretty
Not
far
sure.
away as long as he can see them.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why Michael has that limiter. Maybe they think he's too strong and maybe they'll remove it in a future patch. It just feels weird that they're limiting that for him, in my opinion. I just think that's a little weird. Additionally, I just think that the slaughtering strike is kind of boring. It should just be straight up exposed. Because he already has so much in his kit in both the Pursuer form and his Evil Incarnate form, where he's got like increased vault speed, increased lunge, increased breaking speed. Does he really need the fucking strike too? I just feel like it's overkill. And I get why they did that, because they didn't want him to have all that and the just ability to one tap people, because that would be kind of annoying. Because like, oh, he can do everything and now he can one shot you. Now there's kind of like a bit of skill where he has to hit that M2. There's probably a character like that that I can't remember right now. Oh god, there's a character. It's like a hillbilly chainsaw. Like he can catch
Mm-hmm.
up with you pretty quick. He has the chainsaw. He has to hit you with the chainsaw to instantly down you. If he misses, he's punished. That's what I'm assuming they're doing with Michael. However, the difference is hillbilly can do that whenever he wants.
Yeah.
Michael has to work for it. And I feel
Mhm.
like if he gets to that, I don't know. I feel like it kind of has to be either or. Like either reduce the effects and make it so he can expose people, like he can just tap people, or something else. I don't know. I feel like it's weird. They made him a dash killer for no reason. And it really shows in his kit. Overall, really good changes. Just remove the dash, in my opinion.
Let me ask you a question. When you faced a Michael player, did you
Oh,
ever feel like a 99 stock into just popping it on you around a corner and tapping you was unfun? Because I think this is their way of changing that. I think this is their
that
way of
makes
getting rid
sense.
of 99 in your stock, finding someone else unaware, and then they can't do anything. They just go down.
Yeah.
Now it's
I
like
mean,
he can charge it all the way up. He doesn't have to 99 it. He just fills up the bar, finds someone else, pops it on them immediately, and he still has to hit the charge. He
mm-hmm.
has to swap powers, or at least, hit the activate, which gives you the superpower, but then he still has to
Yeah,
charge at you. It doesn't seem like the M1 will normally net the down unless you're
yeah,
injured
no.
already.
I think it's just like a normal hit.
So right, he is a little bit combined with Billy, where like he doesn't have the chainsaw until he looks at you for long enough.
Mm-hmm. That's a good point because like it is pretty annoying when he did that. My idea for how they could do that and remove the dash is that he just has a startup animation when he hits 100. Like maybe he like
Mm,
flips his knife in his hand or the music plays and he's
Right.
like his shoulder square, something
The
yeah,
visual
music
showing
like
like
is
he
definitely
Oni.
gonna remain. They
like he
can't get rid
slowed
of this
down,
little music
he's in his
tease.
evil form, run away, get to safe.
Yeah,
Just something like
like
that.
like Oni when he
Yeah, like
becomes
Oni. Like
angry.
Oni.
Yeah,
I guess
yeah.
like that
That's
comes to the issue of isn't he just Oni at that point? To which I say a little bit, and I guess that's kind of the problem with Michael. He's kind of like
No,
multiple
yeah.
forms, and he's hard to kind of do his own thing.
Instead,
yeah.
he's
And
gonna go from like standing still, stalking you, to like immediately hit the button, speed up to 4.6, bigger terror radius, probably the music cue.
Yeah,
It's gonna be terrifying, I think, and in a way that Michael wasn't before.
yeah. It's
mhm.
like, oh my god, he's got aura now. Let's go. Well, I mean, he had aura before, but now he's more aura.
The reason he's gonna be Aura now is because he's going to be the second killer that can effectively run whispers.
You're
The
right. Oh my
32-meter
god.
terror radius and lighting up when someone's in a 32-meter radius of you means you can successfully like walk around with your terror radius on. As soon as it lights up, you can go into stealth mode and you know someone's in stalk range
Oh my
at the edge of
god.
your
Yeah,
bubble.
Whispers is usable again. Let's go. Oh
It
my
was
god.
only good on Pig, and now that Myers has basically the Pig crouch,
Oh my god. He does have pig crouch. Oh my god. I didn't think about it
hmm
like that.
he has Pig crouch.
We have pig too. Let's go.
yeah. For me, I'm a mixed bag or similar bag as Maddie in that I love the toggle ability. I always thought
Mhm.
the linear progression of Evil Within was pretty rough. Like I would, you get up to tier 2 and like, oh man, I wish I could be undetectable, but now I have to be undetectable with Trail of Torment or with
Yeah.
Or bring monitor
something
and
else.
abuse, or
Yeah,
right.
like it was always a bummer. Like I couldn't be stealthy as Michael in that tier 1, and tier 1 of Evil Twin is just so rough. It's like you're
Yeah.
so slow. Your lunge speed is minimal. Like it's you literally have none essentially. So that always felt bad. I like the toggle between these two. I fucking hate the dash. This dash shit is just and y'all like I know they were trying to make him more viable, but
Mhm.
we have 40 killers. Right, 40 killers in the
Yes.
game. It is
41.
okay to have bad killers. Like we have like and this is someone who enjoys Michael Myers and enjoys
Mhm.
Trapper. It is okay to have bad killers. Like I think that is okay. I think old Michael Myers is fine, and if they went back to that, I would be okay with that. I think I have good games, I have bad games, it's fine. The dash I don't want. I just think it's lore wise and like thematically it doesn't fit Michael Myers. He's not running, he's a slow walker, he's unrelenting, and it's just like it's a better slice and dice. Like he can break pallets with it. Um and yeah, I don't like it. Just I don't know, CV, you mentioned, you don't want someone to 99, or you don't want them to have what is it called? Even carnate, and then be able to pop it when you come around a corner or something. That is fair. I totally get that being a bummer when it happens, or like, Tombstone would activate and you're not sure if he has Tombstone, and then he gets you immediately. That's going to be removed, thankfully, and then hopefully that achievement changes, because fuck that achievement. But yeah, that sucks, but I think adding maybe an animation to make it look like it, but I just don't know what you do with Michael. That model is also so old. Like, he just looks so 2016. I know he didn't come out in 2016, but still.
Who knows?
Yeah,
Who knows? Maybe he'll get like a visual update in the PTB and they just haven't said it. Oh.
that would be amazing. I'd love more cosmetics for Michael Myers too. He's phenomenal, but the licensing there is just a hot mess. So, but yeah, I think the buffs to these, I love being able to stalker mode. Hopefully they have something like Scratch Mirror. That's always one I love to run. And then Pursuer mode is great. All those buffs are great. He doesn't need a dash. Get rid of the dash and give him make evil incarnate people exposed, or maybe like people who you stalked a certain amount, only those people are exposed. Maybe something like that, or like you have to move your stalk ability on certain people, because sometimes you'll find it, you go through a whole game and you don't stalk one person. So maybe that is something, but I just don't think a dash is good. I don't think that's good. So
Yeah.
My mouse isn't working, so I can't scroll down. 1 second. He's going to have some add-on reworks as well. Like I mentioned, Tombstone's not going to work anymore. I'm sure they sort of dash slap. Yeah. I don't know. What other add-ons were they going to touch, Maddie? You mentioned it.
I think called Fragmentopsis Hair, which basically they said already that if you have that equipped, it kind of reverts him back to old Michael, where he has like the stage 1, the stage 2, and the stage 3, and the insta down exposed stuff. So if you like old Michael, don't worry, he's still going to be there in an add-on, which is going to be kind of weird. But hey, he's still there.
Yeah. So that's good. Any more thoughts on Michael Myers' rework before we jump into tunneling?
He's going to be new and fun. I believe it. I believe he's going to be fine. It's not going to feel so much different than like a killer having coup, I hope. But if you can like hit some crazy fake routes and then dash the double back distance and hit someone from behind, I think that's going to be really, really fun to pull off. Even if it does not feel like Michael from any movie. It's much like what they did with Freddy. He's just no longer the Freddy that they made.
Like, when did he make fake pallets and then they exploded and then they harmed you? I don't remember that in the movie.
Not in the Jackie Earl Haley Freddy movie.
But I would argue, the dream palettes are, he's kind of making up his own world, and you're kind of seeing them. You're seeing what he wants you to see.
It's just a bit of a twisted path like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, I'm excited to try Michael. That's actually the first thing I want to do tomorrow in the PTP, is try Michael Myers. More so than the new killer. I'm super excited, which we'll actually get to at the end of this. But yeah, super excited for the new killer as well. But I'm very, very much looking forward to trying Michael out. With that, let's move on to the tunneling reduction update, which has divided the community, I'd say. I have seen things on this update. I've seen people against this update. I've seen people in the middle. Let's get into it. So, these are the changes. I'll run through them, a little portion of them, and then we'll kind of get into more detail. So, killers cannot see the survivor's hooked status anymore. They don't get an unhook notification, and their hook status isn't revealed immediately after unhook. So essentially your HUD on the left side is not going to show you when that person is unhooked, and you're not going to get the notification anymore. They disabled this when the gens are finished, so you can tunnel to your heart's content when all 5 gens are popped. Unhooked survivors get some new effects. They gain elusive, which is essentially the survivor's side of I'm blanking on it.
Off the record, you thinking?
No, I was thinking of it'll pop in my head later. Anyways, you get elusive. This is a new status effect that silences grunts of pain, prevents the survivor's aura from being revealed, and reduces pools of blood and scratch marks. They're also immune to Killer Instinct, the very first time in DBD history, which is insane. So you're not going to proc it with Xeno coming out of a tunnel or Legion when you're hitting someone in Feral Frenzy. You're going to see the killer's aura when they're nearby, and you lose collision with other players, so they're not going to be able to body block you. You lose these effects when performing a conspicuous action, similar to when you're running off the record or decisive or whatnot. And these additional effects, aside from haste and endurance, deactivate once all gens are completed. So that base kit, borrowed time, is going to stay in the end game. Before we go into the killer's advantages and disadvantages, whether certain things happen, what do we think of these little changes? CV, I'll jump to you first. What are your thoughts on Survivor status effects?
I like elusive. I think it's very, very cute.
I love it.
It'll be a good way for them to kind of, I figure off the record is the idea I entirely got from it. It's just like how the perk reads. You gain Iron Will for 60 seconds and scratch marks. You can still make scratch marks and pools of blood, but you won't be making your aura revealed. I think that's an important one as well, because if somebody still brings like nowhere to hide, it doesn't feel like you're being tunneled to the killer. They just found you behind a gen, but you thought that was the best spot for you to hide. Now you can kind of be a little bit more out in the open when you hide, even if you accidentally didn't mean to be tunneled, if that makes sense. Because tunneling can be intentional. Sometimes it can be the killer just looking for whoever's in front of them. A lot of people say like, well, you made me tunnel you. You were in front of me and no one else was around. What am I going to do? Break chase and find someone else? I have no more info. Then there's a survivor in front of me. So a lot of people will see tunneling as too easy to pass up. And I think this helps that not be the case so often. Like the people who wouldn't have gone tunneling are not going to if this isn't in play.
Medi?
Oh, it's my turn. So elusive. I also really like elusive. Not only does it streamline something they've been kind of doing repeatedly in some perks, like I think one of Rick or Michonne's perks literally says that verbatim. So instead of saying all that, they can just say gain elusive for 30 seconds. Love that. Huge W. I also like it that Survivor basically becomes really hard to find when they get unhooked. Not immune, but really hard to find. So it's like you have to go out of your way to not only find them, but down them and then hook them again. I love those changes. Super awesome. And I don't really have much to say besides all of those changes are good. I only wish a part of these changes they remove the fucking bubble when you hook someone for the first time.
Yeah.
Everyone hates the bubble. Get rid of the bubble.
That goes for when the exit gates are powered as well. They get bubbles now too.
No more
and
bubbles.
It's really annoying.
No more bubbles.
Well, the thing I was trying to say earlier, elusive is a Survivor equivalent of undetectable
Insidious?
for killer.
Oh.
Because you essentially like lose your terror
And
radius,
that's,
or you
that's
lose
much more,
yeah.
It's all the same stuff.
I like these changes. Elusive's great. I think that's a great addition. Of course, they're going to have to tweak some things like off the record, like you mentioned, Stevie. So there'll be a lot of perk tweaks that we don't know of yet, like, Unbreakable, Tenacity. I'm sure Conviction is going to be touched a little bit. So, yeah, a lot of changes, which I'm kind of worried about a little bit, but we don't know the details there. Yeah, I like these. It's going to be very hard, like you mentioned, Maddie, for the killer to find the survivor. The only thing I have an issue with is the HUD lying to the killer. So the hook status isn't going to be revealed immediately after unhook. You're also not going to get that notification. So, which isn't great for new players. Like if you're a new killer, you've just bought the game, and it's just like, I guess you wouldn't know the person's getting unhooked. You would learn that later, which is, I guess, is fair. But I just don't, that just feels a little dirty to me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure a way around that or whatnot, but I'm just not sure what that's going to do. I'm worried this is going to increase more camping, especially if other changes are implemented alongside this, or proxy camping, I should say, which, is valid. But like, I just don't want more of that. If it's
I
not
get what you're
necessary.
saying, right? Like it's not that I was proxy camping. I was just trying to see the progress of the hook state because I don't get the HUD information anymore.
Yeah.
I just wanted to see how close to second stage they were.
Yeah, so I'm a little worried about that, but again, we got to test these, so we'll just take it at face
Oh, big
value
time.
for
I want to
now.
see what people do with it. I want to see how people react to like, well, I guess if I can't see what they're up to, I might as well find another gen. If that becomes more of a common occurrence where it's like somebody got hooked, I should be more careful completing this gen I'm on. The killer might be right after me. Versus like, well,
Hmm.
I just got the notification someone got hooked. Maybe the killer's gonna stay there. Oh, yep, Kindred. Yep, they're still right there. Now it kind of
Yeah.
incentivizes the killer to play around more of the game, spread more pressure.
Hmm. Yeah.
It's a lot of stick
Um,
and a little bit of carrot.
good way of putting it.
Wait, what do you mean by
So,
that? What do you mean by that?
Right to get the horse
killers.
to move.
Oh,
Yeah, Maurice has got to get up and go. Um, let's get
no.
into some changes with what happens if you do tunnel, or if you don't tunnel,
Oh,
I should say, both of those. So killers can now see on their HUD the last survivor they hooked. So if you just hooked Sable, it will show on the HUD that you hooked Sable.
yeah.
Um, I wonder if they're going to show the character icon and their username, or just the character.
If I had to guess, it'll probably be their name and icon, and there'll be
That's
like a
my
little
guess too.
indicator with like a hook next to their name, just being like,
Yeah,
"Hey,
Hmm.
I thought it was just that, like an emoji next to their name, and then there's
Oh,
no
okay,
reason.
that
W,
makes sense.
W,
Right.
That makes sense.
100%. This person is freshly hooked. Leave them alone."
So there are benefits for killers who don't tunnel. So completing a unique hook, and this is the condition in which you have to meet. This is completing a unique hook, not hooking the same survivor back to back. So if you just hook the Sable and you hook her again, you won't get these benefits. But if you hook the Sable and then you move to the Meg and you hook her, you will get these. So bonus damage to the next gen kick, temporary haste, temporary essentially barbecue and chili for survivors with less than or equal to the number of hook states of the survivor you hooked. So if that Sable has one hook and you hook her and she's on her second hook, then people with less than two hooks will appear their auras, regardless of how
If
far
you
they
didn't
are.
hook that Sable back to back.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you didn't hit that Sable back to back. These effects are lessened. Crazy. This is crazy to me. These effects are lessened for Blight, Nurse, Dark Lord, Ghoul, and Hillbilly. So essentially mobile killers. The very high mobility killers. And then let me get into the disadvantages before we jump to this. Sorry, my mouse is still not working, so I have to
It's all
do it
good.
with my cursor. So there are disadvantages. Oh, these effects deactivate when all the gens are finished. So those benefits you
Yes.
won't get. You can tunnel to your heart's content in the end game. Disadvantages you receive as a killer when tunneling. So the condition for this to be met is if a survivor dies before 6 hook states, all survivors gain repair speed bonuses for the rest of the trial. So kind of crazy. If the last survivor that was hooked was sacrificed or killed, you can no longer regress or block gens. So let's say you hooked that Sable, then you hooked a Meg, and then you hooked a Sable, and then you find the Sable again later, and you hook her and she dies, or you Mori or whatever. These conditions apply, so you won't be able to regress or block gens, which really sucks. That's essentially the extent to which these disadvantages are. Stevie, I'll jump to you first. What are your first impressions with these?
Hmm. It's an odd number, I will admit. 6 hooks feels like the safest bet for something, but I think for such a strong downside as we'll get into with it is it should be like less. It should be. Just 5 is fine because the way I'm seeing this is if you're getting 3 hooks on one person, that means to be safe and kill that get that third hook, which I'm hoping, right, if that sacrifice kill counts as the 6th hook, you should be fine to hook everyone else once. And then the Sable runs into you twice, and you don't want to feel bad for getting her out of the game, but she can't play. She's just falling down every time you see her.
Yeah.
And that's really the case I see this being bad, right? Like no one's gonna want to throw themselves and lose the match just to spite you. I don't think so. Survivors who probably don't want to be playing Dead by Daylight are probably going to be the ones trying to force this into action. But if you naturally kill someone and it was 6 hooks, that's because one player was giving you a really hard time and you decided the other 2 people couldn't also be found and the Sable did just keep running into you. And I think that's an unfortunate time to get punished. So if it was 5, then you could, spread a little pressure, get 2 hooks on 2 people, and then now you're safe to tunnel one of the other 2 out. Tunnel. Yeah.
Maddie?
Oh, sorry. I was just commenting on Stevie. I was making a little
Oh,
joke.
you're
I
good.
was not meant. I'm so sorry, Stevie.
You
Keep
can go.
going.
No,
I
you
was
go.
just making a joke. Oh, wait,
Don't
you're
worry.
done. Okay. I wasn't
Just
sure
keep
if I
talking.
interrupted you, and
You
then you were
got
like,
it.
"Okay,
Just
Madison,
keep
kill like
talking.
that." But yeah, not to lay Stevie, but I was thinking the same exact thing, and I was like, "Yes, Stevie, cook." When they said 5, because yeah, no, it feels kind of restrictive to have it at 6, where it's like, oh, you need to get 2 people at second stage and 2 people on their first hook before you can do that. Whereas 5 feels a bit more reasonable, because if someone is getting that hooked many times, with the new changes in mind of the elusive and trying to not do conspicuous actions and all of that, and the perks are going to get changed, which there's probably going to be a few like off the record that still exist. If someone is still getting caught old that many times and you get to 5 hooks and then you're 6, yeah, no, you shouldn't be punished because that person was an idiot. No offense. I've been that idiot. We've all been that idiot. It's okay
Yeah,
to admit.
that person just shouldn't be in the lobby, or it's the end of the game, and the killer only
Yeah,
got 5 hooks after 5 gens.
exactly. Like, it should be 5. It shouldn't be 6. Very minor. I get they're trying to do it safe, so that's probably why they did 6, but I mean, it would be nice if they changed it to 5. Additionally, something that I didn't really think about till you mentioned it. Well, first, Onryo is the most affected by this because she can have the ability to kill someone without that many hooks. It feels weird for somebody who has to work so hard to do something that's different than hooks, that being people having to choose not to put in their tapes to get rid of their condemnation stacks, and then they get punished, downed, and then killed. Then the killer gets punished for that. Like, that feels weird. It feels like it should be the other way around. And I don't know. I just feel like once again Arno is getting fucked in the ass for whatever reason. You did, I think so, Bryson, mention that Michael Myers is also affected with the base kit Mori. However, someone does need to be dead on hook. So if you're doing that and there's
Yeah.
less than 5 hooks, you kind of deserve it. But Arno has a whole different mechanic. And additionally, our pig main here, Stevie, pig is also affected. Because if someone is playing the game as pig, they put a bear trap on, and that person never takes out their bear trap till like they have like 5 seconds left, and like, oh, I'm dead because I was an idiot and I didn't take out my bear trap. And this is taking into mind that they've never been chased or hooked after that, after they got their first trap on, and then they die, then you're punished for that. That's weird. Like, why am I being punished for them being stupid? And I guess that's kind of like maybe because they're a new player, but also like if you're a new player, you should learn these things. We have guides, we have tutorials, and if there's 40 killers, you gotta know what they do. And Pig is pretty simple. She can go down, stab you from it, and put a trap on you that you have to take off. You shouldn't leave the hat on. It's not a party hat. The party hat is going to kill you, spoiler alert. And I just think it's weird that for some killers, you get punished more than others, and 6 feels a bit too high. So yeah, bring it down to 5, and then I think these are good changes.
I'm a mixed bag on this. Okay. This update has a lot of them adding base kit things. Tenacity
Yes.
we've covered. To put in base kit, barbecue, and chili just feels weird. And for these effects to be lessened on specific killers means you're not going to have that advantage. Like if you're playing the ghoul, if you're playing blight or whatever, also feels just kind of dirty. And
Oh my god, I completely forgot something else to say. You keep going, but once you're done, I think to say.
no worries. It just feels, and like barbecue chili is like a huge meta perk. So I would imagine that perk is gonna get tweaked a little bit. I don't know. This doesn't quite work like barbecue and chili, but it's similar. And like at that point, like why run barbecue and chili? Why waste the perk slot for that? So I expect that perk to go down. And also with like the bonus damage to gen kicks, that's nothing if you're playing as Nurse or Blight or like a super high mobility killer like these guys. Like you're probably not kicking gens a lot, other than maybe Nurse where you have the
Opcos.
gen. Yeah, we will know of the aura reading
Oh yeah,
nowhere to
Hmm.
hide. Like if you're
nowhere to
like
hide. Yes.
you might run that, but like when I used to play Blight a lot, which was years ago, like I never touched gens. It was always pain res. It was always other types of like slowdown perks or whatnot. Like it's so rare for these high mobility killers to really kick gens because you're really just trying to go and go and go, and you're kind of letting pain res do the work or whatever else you might be using. So and like temporary haste, if you're an M1 killer like Trapper, that's gonna do nothing for you. That's just gonna. It's probably gonna be 5% haste or something like what his traps give him. Like it's just kind of not gonna do anything for you. And like these are not good advantages in my opinion. And I think the disadvantages are extremely punishing. Like for six hook states, and if someone dies, like Stevie mentioned it really well, like if you you have to hook 3 other people for one hook state, and then you've hooked a third person maybe 3 times. Maybe you couldn't find someone else to like that's happened to me. Like, okay, Claudia, I gotta hook you because everyone else is hiding. Like, what am I supposed to do? Like, let the game keep going and gens pop? Like, that just feels really bad. And then
Right.
for
The numbers
them
as
to
it
get
stand just feel like it doesn't match most people's play styles. Even if most
Mhm.
people are playing in a okay way, you will need to not kill anyone before you have hooked 3 people unique,
Mhm.
or else you will get punished. And
Yeah.
that's a weird way to frame it, is you have to hook 3 people once before you kill one person.
Yeah.
And then in my killer matches, I'm gonna be like, okay, so I hooked you, and fortunately they're adding HUD stuff to help you with that. But like, it's like you got a flow chart next to you. It's like, okay, I hooked the Sable, now I gotta go back to the Meg, and now I'm gonna go to the tap. Like it's just it's a little convoluted and
Yeah.
a little bit much. The ability to not block or regress gens is also something I think really is problematic because y'all, 90 seconds for a gen is nothing in a game of DVD. Gens go by quick. I know it's been increased to 90, but like they go fast. They go really fast, and not being able to regress or block them is rough. You can slow them down. That's not prevented, so you could use um what am I thinking of? Floods of Rage
Yeah.
or Dying Light. You could use those perks, but it still sucks. Like it's just really unfortunate that you have to do this mental math to not
Just
get these
speak.
penalties. Mm-hmm. Maddie, go ahead. Yeah, go for
Just say it. Speak it.
They need
it.
I think it just shows that they need to add a secondary gameplay goal for survivors. Because, like, defending gens and doing gens is boring. So I feel like they should add something neat. Like, maybe you have to do, like, a ritual. And instead of holding just M1, maybe it's like a little mini game where you have to, like, connect little dots and strands. Yes, I'm stealing that from a fucking Roblox game. We don't talk about that. So much more fun than holding M1, okay? But they need to add something new, something different to the trials. And survivors have been begging for this, as well as killers, for something new to do, because it gets
Yeah.
boring. And also, adding a secondary gameplay mechanic might also inadvertently make certain killers stronger, like Hag. She's either really good or really bad, depending on the team. But if there's a secondary goal and you have to go somewhere specific, oh my god, Hag now has something else she has to protect. Meaning, she's got a bit more of a leeway with her web, because now she has like a central point. Oh my god. Oh my god. Also, additionally, back to the patch notes, something that I found interesting that I really want to bring attention back to that people don't really like, that I also don't really like, that being the certain killers that have a reduced effect for respecting not tunneling, that being Blight, Nurse, Dark Lord, Ghoul, and Hillbilly. It feels kind of like a soft confirmation from behavior saying these are the strongest killers in the game. Because
Oh yeah.
both Demogorgon and Dredge have also really good traversal. Yeah, you have to place down portals as what's his
Xeno
name?
too.
And Xeno too. Like, yeah, you have to rely on RNG, but like you don't see Mr. Dracula going across the map. Like, yeah, he can be fast, but he's not that fast. So, and also,
Mm-hmm.
it's not a coincidence that of these killers, 4 of them are considered to be the best in the game, and Dark Lord is considered to be really good. So it just feels weird that they're like, yeah, we know these killers are a problem. They're really, really strong to the point that it kind of feels unfair. But instead of addressing that issue and fixing them, we're just going to make them so they get less of a reward because they're still going to kill you anyway. So it's like, oh, interesting. How queer. Sorry,
Yeah, and
it's weird.
no,
I
you're
don't like.
yeah, it's bizarre, and even then, like the meta. This oh man, I have so many thoughts on this. The meta in general, with all the perk changes that are coming that we don't know what are being touched, the meta is going to change, which I'm okay with. I love
Yeah.
that the meta is going to be shaken up a lot by all of this, but I feel like, especially with like some of the benefits that you're getting, like you're getting base kit barbecue essentially, like survivors are going to play around that. Like they know each game. Okay, the Sable's getting hooked. She's got 2 hooks. I have one. I don't have any hooks. I need to go hide in the locker. Like they're going to play around this. You're not going to get as much value out of this, or they're going to bring distortion or something, or they're going to bring a fog vial to prevent that. So
And that's gonna be
speaking of
so annoying
which,
too. Like every time you're doing a
yeah,
generator and someone's getting like
Would you
low
like
key tunneled
in
to get the
2v8?
second hook, then it's like,
2v8
oh,
kind of had it, right? Like if you hadn't been hooked, your aura gets
yeah,
revealed after every
yeah.
cage.
And then it's like, oh, I have to go hide in a locker because Meg is gonna get hooked again, and I haven't been hooked yet, and I don't want to be found by the killer. So you go in a locker, wait 5 seconds, then leave. You're gonna be doing that for the rest of your life in this game. That's gonna be permanent now. I hope
Well,
you like that. That's gonna
that
be
like
boring.
second
I'm
hook,
sorry.
50-50 chance he goes after the Elodie, who's also not been hooked.
Exactly,
So
but
it's
it's just
alright.
so
You can kind of flip flop it and play risky sometimes, or the aura is being read, so you just run to a safe loop anyway,
it's
and then
just
now you're
boring in
ready
my
to take a
opinion.
big
I don't like
chase.
that.
I
It's just
think it'll add more. You get to see the killer.
I mean, that's fair.
Yeah.
But it's also like, I don't know. I just think it's boring because everyone's just going to be going into a locker. And if there's a locker next to you, someone's about to be hooked, you haven't been hooked yet, there is literally no reason for you to not go in that locker, hide, and then go back to your gen. It's just going to be boring. Even if they
You
want you to
remember
be
to
chased,
do it.
be
That's the
chased.
other fun thing. Do you remember to let
yeah.
go of the gen for pain res every time?
Oh, yeah.
No, I don't.
Yeah.
I
The
don't.
Yeah.
difference, though, I'll say, Pain Res is a perk versus this is going to be in every game. Like, every single killer will
Is
have
pain
this.
res not in every game for you?
I mean, yes, it's common, but it's also a perk, so there's always a chance of it not appearing. This is going to appear in every single game.
Hmm.
I hear that. I hear it.
Hmm.
I wanted to bring up something like, okay, slugging sucks. It's kind of, you're being held hostage. That sucks. Being camped sucks. The killer's right in front of you. You can't do anything about it. No one can come get you. That sucks. You're being held hostage until you die. You're not playing the game. With tunneling, and I hate being tunneled. This is someone who runs dead hard and decisive strike. I hate getting tunneled. You are playing the game if you're getting tunneled.
Yeah.
Now I
The
think
fun part of the
now
game.
yeah, the probably the most rewarding aspect of DVD is getting chased.
Yeah.
I don't see this tunneling. I'm gonna guess the tunneling reduction system is going to go back to the drawing board. I don't see this going to BTB, but we will see. I I don't think we need a hard systematic guideline for tunneling. And I have a couple of reasons. One, if you're going to get tunneled out, you're going to die. You can just go to the next game and move forward. That is if you're not with a Swift. That I get. I know it sucks, but maybe you need to work on your looping skills, or maybe you're the weak link of your Swift, and that's the reason the killer is tunneling you. That's a big reason why people get tunneled sometimes, especially if you're in a higher MMR. Like, they're gonna find the weak link and they're gonna pressure you until hopefully there's only a 1v3, and that's easier to win ultimately. Um, and yeah, that's kind of a big aspect. I'm kind of thinking of, like, tunneling sucks, but like there's just so many perks that kind of revolve around it. Like we have base kit
Bar time.
borrow time. Yes, I can't think of any perk names tonight. I don't know. They've just like flown out my ears
There's
tonight, so
too
I'm sorry for
many.
that.
They should make them
Yeah,
all
there's
base kit.
yeah, just make them all base kit. Give me decisive base kit. I love that. And yeah, I don't know. Part of me doesn't think we need this, but at the same time, I recognize that getting tunneling sucks, and I don't want people to feel disheartened by that, and so I think it needs to be reduced. I don't think this is the right system to do that, or this is the right approach, because like not being able to regress gens or block them, that's crappy, and just the benefits are just not worthwhile, in my opinion. So, but I don't know.
I think the benefit to tunneling is you're in a 1v3 now.
Yeah.
And like
Oh yeah,
Less
I
people
mean,
to
I'm
worry
gonna
about.
say I don't think you need gen regression if you're in
At
a
that point,
1v3.
yeah.
At that
yeah,
point, I think you're set. You can just
Yeah.
find one
Like
more
you've basically
person and
done.
put them on hook, and the other two people can't complete a gen if you find them.
Yeah,
So
I
it's
will
Mhm.
also say, kind of unrelated, my favorite perk in the game is Devour Hope. And this also harms Devour Hope. Like, oh, did the Friars find a totem? No, you
Yeah.
win, actually. But since you killed someone pretty early, you don't get to have fun because they didn't cleanse the totem. And you
Hmm.
did good. It's just, yeah, I guess my biggest complaint about these changes is that it feels like though there are scenario, though there are a lot of scenarios where you're not doing these maliciously, and these are to stop malicious people. There are scenarios where you're playing the game right, you're doing everything that your character's supposed to do, like your character's literally made to do, like Onryo or a perk like Devour Hope, and then you get punished because you chased the wrong person. And sometimes, or not even sometimes, if the whole like UI thing comes in and it has like the last poach person, if I dodge like a person and go for someone that I've hooked once, I have the potential to just be punished for that. It's like, oh, I'm sorry I didn't
Hmm.
count my hooks. I'm sorry I didn't look at the little guy and say, oh, I've only hooked you 4 times. I'm gonna leave you and do something else. Oh wait, can't leave you because you're gonna pick yourself up. I'll play you on hook and totally ignore my power or
Mhm.
perk. I guess. I just it feels like a lot of loopholes. I definitely think some of these changes are good, but they need to put some away and keep some in. It can't be all of this. I think it's too much, especially for new
Yeah,
players.
it is a lot.
It is a lot. Yes.
Yeah.
It's a good time to test them then, if they're just sitting on all these ideas and they want to know
Exactly.
which ones to just keep cooking on. And
This is why I'm glad they're taking it to the PTB first and
yeah,
not taking it to
Yeah.
instead of a
live.
chaos shuffle like they wanted to.
Yeah, that would be terrifying. Oh god, all these in
Remember when they were like,
live?
let's instead of doing the event in the summer, let's do chaos shuffle with slugging update, and then they put that away.
Yeah. Oh man.
I
Yeah,
think
and with all this comes a lot of perk changes, which we don't know the details
we
of
don't
yet,
know.
but I'm
We
eager
know
to get into
nothing
it.
about
Mhm.
I
tomorrow.
really wish we could have
Tomorrow for
tested the
us.
PTB. We thought it actually was today, and Maddie and I were going to try it out, and then was like, oh, it's actually Wednesday. Sorry. So we actually don't have any hands-on impressions for you all, but we will have those next week. We appreciate it. Do you
Next week once they've
all?
had time to set.
Yes. Oh,
Yeah.
one more thing. There is a new killer, a new chapter coming. We want to
There we
touch on
go.
that. I completely forgot with all this debating and
I have a lot more to
conversing.
say about them once they're out, but for right now,
Exactly.
Yeah,
seems like all
we
the theories and speculation kind of came to a head.
hmm
Yeah.
yeah. So we know it's the Krasue, which is cool.
Came to a head.
Ah,
I
ah.
love the puns. I love the puns. If you stay for anything, stay for the puns, please. Yeah, so it's the Krasue. We got a little more of a teaser today, which is really cool, of her detaching from her body and the organs floating beneath her. So, oh man, really grotesque and creepy, and
Yeah.
I cannot wait to see her in play. So
But apparently you're gonna play Michael first, so
I
you'll have to
do, I
wait.
do want to play Michael. Hey, Michael is my guy. He's my guy. I gotta test him out,
Yeah.
okay?
I
But then
will
the
s-
Krasue after.
I will say something that I'm really liking, if what I'm getting the vibe of from the marketing is that she kind of has two forms, the head form and the normal form. And we kind
Yeah.
of inadvertently finally got a killer that looks like a survivor, minus the whole neck gout thing, who becomes really fucking scary. So she's kind of like a mini thing, kind of.
Yeah.
Obviously not the same, but like it's kind of got that vibe of, oh hey, it's a girl. Hi lady, how you doing? And then her whole body falls apart, and you're like, oh, I have to run.
I can't wait to
I'm
get hit
talking to
with
her.
an intestine. It's
Yeah,
be
how does that
crazy.
work? How does an intestine hurt more than a knife? How does that work?
Maybe it'll have like a bone on the end of it or something. Maybe, or maybe there
Oh,
will be a
Poison
bone.
or
Who knows?
why is a
something.
bone in an intestine? Nasty.
I don't know.
Oh my
I don't
god.
know. So we'll have more thoughts on the new original chapter next week. Unfortunately, we couldn't throw it in this chapter or in this episode. So
Sadly.
we're looking forward to that. Do you
Yeah.
all want to do this listener email before we hop off here? Are you all
Yeah,
good
run
with
it.
the time?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Time for
So
a
let's
listener email.
So listeners, like I mentioned at the top of the show, we have a backlog of listener emails. We are getting to them, I promise. We just have a lot of things to talk about, and we can only cover so much in one episode. So this listener email comes from Blade, who kind of sent us a two-parter. Also, awesome name, by the way. What an
Literally.
Right.
awesome name to be
Okay, Mr.
named Blade.
Vampire Hunter? Yeah,
Thank you,
Yeah,
definitely.
like
Blade.
badass name. Anyway, here is Blade's first email. I thought long and hard about this and narrowed it down to these. This is in relation to their top 5 Dream Chapters. Number 5, Jason, obviously ranked number 5
Yeah,
because he's the lowest hanging fruit humanly possible.
that's fair.
4, a Wendigo. I'm also with you. I would love a
Ooh.
Wendigo, especially if it's from Until Dawn Wendigo. That'd be cool.
Ooh.
Number 3, the Creeper from Jeepers Creepers. Blade, I also want this. However, the creator of Jeepers Creepers is a terrible person. I will let you do your own research. Just a terrible, terrible
Awesome
human
guy.
being.
I mean,
And
not awesome guy. Awful guy. Awful guy. Not awesome. Not awesome. Awful.
we do
Opposite of
not, we do
awesome.
not
Very
support the
bad.
Jeepers Creepers creator. He's not a good guy. Look it up. Do your own research. But he is still alive, and he would very much benefit financially from a Jeepers Creepers chapter. So
Yeah.
we're
We'll
not. And I think
compromise and
Behavior
we'll,
has even
we'll just get
commented.
Justin Long. Justin Long
Yeah.
would be a perfect guy to
Oh
get
my
into
God.
DVD. He's
Yeah.
done enough horror
Instant
movie
Justin
stuff.
Long horror fan.
Do it in
I
like
would love that.
Nick Cage style. So he's just
Yes.
Justin
Yes.
Long. He's
Awesome.
not the guy from Jeepers Creepers. He's just himself.
Maybe
But
even Rob
once-
Zombie?
Ooh, that'd be kind of cool. He's done a couple horror stuff. But once the Creepers guy's dead and no one terrible benefits from that, I would be down for
Yes.
Jeepers Creepers. He deserves to be burning in hell. Number 2, something Norse-inspired. Loki, Draugr, a Viking warrior akin to the knight. There are lots of things to pull from. That's a cool idea. I like that. That's
I
a cool
have a
vibe.
spoiler. I have a spoiler I want to say. The killer.
Okay, what's
or
the spoiler
monster,
for?
It's for the ritual. I feel like that kind of spoils a lot, but it's for the
Oh,
ritual.
okay.
Can I spoil the ritual?
It's this deep in the episode. You'll be fine.
Okay, that's fair. So there
Yeah.
is the monster in the ritual is like the daughter/son of Loki, and it's like this centaur thing that looks really scary. They kind of like preys
Yeah.
upon people's fears. I think that would be really fucking cool.
That'd
Put
be
that guy
sick.
in. They get a
That's
licensed
Norse.
chapter.
That's that's so
Yeah,
cool.
it's also a really good movie. Go watch The Ritual. So good.
Yeah, it's on Netflix. Go check it out. It's also a book, based off a book series if you want to, or
Yes.
a book. I don't think
Cool.
there's a series. Highly recommend it. The movie is fucked up.
So good.
And then number 1 is Pennywise. I also would love Pennywise, but I don't think Stephen King will allow that, unfortunately. He doesn't really
Dude
let
hates
his
video
IPs.
games for some reason.
Yeah, weird. Like a guy who writes horror and stuff and is pretty progressive. Just like doesn't really like video games or any of his stuff in video games, which is odd.
Hey, come on, come on, come on.
Also, I think Pennywise would show up in a Mortal Kombat game before DVD. That's just my opinion.
We just
Really?
have to
because
get
they're
Stephen
owned
King to
by the
play
same
like a
people.
Metal Gear Solid game, and then he'll like video games, and then
He'd be a
he'll chill
changed
out.
man. He'd be like,
Then
oh
he'll chill
wow,
out.
this is cool. Love video games.
Okay, great list, Blade. Great picks. And Blade second was in regards to our conversation about Vader being added to Dead by Daylight. So this was
Yes.
several episodes back, I think episode 5. Let me read through his thoughts. First off, I just started listening to the podcast at work, and I just made it to the Darth Vader episode, and I would like to give my opinion. My issue with Darth Vader is that I just can't justify the lightsaber not cleaving survivors in half every hit. It's one of the biggest issues I've had with actual Star Wars games. I'm assuming you're referring to the Jedi games, which you can't cut off limbs in those games, which is a fair critique. The only ones I personally enjoyed were Battlefronts, where you're playing the soldiers instead of the Jedi and Sith, except in certain circumstances. I wouldn't quit the game over it, but I wouldn't personally be happy with it. I also agree with Maddie with oversaturation of licenses in a game. I do as well. I also play Magic the Gathering, and we're getting more and more universes beyond sets every year where there are less and less original settings. I'm personally not happy with it, even though I like some of the universes they've brought in, but I personally like original lore, and it's saddening to see less and less of it everywhere. Maddie, your thoughts on Blade's comments?
They're so real for everything they said. I'm sorry, I did not hear a hint of bullshit. Everything he said or they said is true. I'm sorry. As soon as you got to the magic part, I was like, yes, that's
Yeah.
exactly what I'm thinking.
A great point.
Yeah, but like kind of to like clarify for people or in listeners and viewers who do like licensed properties, there's nothing wrong with that. Having licensed properties is really cool. Dead by Daylight is here only because of licenses. If it weren't for Halloween, this game would be dead on arrival. However, it gets to a point where there's so much licensed content that original content kind of suffers, and you don't really get to see something new. You kind of see more of the same thing. And I feel like people would get really tired if we saw Darth Vader for the 18th time in a new piece of media. Because as someone who also plays Magic the Gathering, I got really tired as soon as I started the first Spider-Man teasers. I love Spider-Man. I love Peter Parker. I love Miles. I love Gwen Stacy. I love all these characters. I don't want to see them fucking everywhere. Like, I already see them in movies. I see them in TV shows. I see them in books. It's literally that one meme. I'll be there. I'll be there. They're everywhere. And believe it or not, sometimes having less of something is a good thing. That's my thoughts. CV, what are your thoughts?
Oh, that's the truth. Magic the Gathering sets have had zero time to breathe, just in
Literally.
general between each other. And
Mhm.
then they add in the secret layers. They add in, well, the secret layers are just fun, like, SpongeBob
Yeah.
cards. But then
I-
they do the Universes Beyond between two original ones that are also sandwiched around more licensed
Yeah.
ones, and you don't have any time to figure out what any cards do. And
Exactly.
same problem with DVD on a smaller scale,
Yeah. It also gets to a point where it kind of gets hammy. Like, I'm
right?
sorry. Okay, totally unrelated rant. When I saw the card guy in a chair from Magic the Gathering, I low-key wanted to cry, throw up,
Ooh.
and like throw a fit. I cannot take a card seriously.
Hold on,
That's literally called
Skyfall,
guy on a
guy in
chair.
a chair.
Wait, what the fuck do you mean guy on a chair? I'm sorry, keep going, Steve. I just needed to say that.
No, I gotta look up guy in a chair.
And did I hear you right, CV, in that there's SpongeBob Magic cards?
Oh yeah, you did.
Yeah.
They have it's a secret layer, so it's not like SpongeBob, this
Yeah.
guy, blah blah blah. But
It's like a
it's a card
skin.
that already exists, and they just put SpongeBob on
Oh.
it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And
Versus the
like,
Spider-Man
Still
set, which is like
weird.
entirely new stuff.
and they have
And
the
okay,
counter spell for the SpongeBob one is like it's the SpongeBob doing the like making the mocking
yeah,
face, the
like
meme where
counter
he's like,
spell.
wow, wow, wow.
Mm.
Counter
Exactly.
spell, your spell sucks.
Yeah. I
So
will
it's
say
Wow.
though, at least they didn't
oh,
print a card called Guy on a Chair in the SpongeBob set. I'm sorry, I'm still salty about that. Guy on a Chair. That's so fucking stupid. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I like the
I
character that it's supposed to represent, but I'm sorry.
he's
The
the
card
guy
was
in
too
the
shipping.
chair. That's
They didn't need a
him.
fucking guy in the chair. Ah! Sorry, keep
this
going.
is now a
Anyway.
Magic the Gathering podcast. Welcome everyone.
No, let's turn it
What?
around. If they had the Star Wars though, if Darth Vader combat was your biggest issue, then I think the guy would like that. I agree. The only way I think you can really do lightsaber combat right now is you take like a For Honor type game where you
Yes.
really break down the combat into like
Yes.
its
Oh my God, this is
hand-to-hand
fun.
components.
Yeah.
And For Honor was really good about doing that, where like if you get grazed by this weapon, it's still enough force to really hurt you. So like
Yeah.
even though it's a super strong weapon, they still just hit you a little bit. It's a light attack.
Yeah.
You do the same thing with like lightsabers, and you have heavy attack, light attack, and the execute is you dismembering both their arms off and kicking them down, or
Yeah.
something that could be bloody and armored.
Yeah. And if we did say Darth Vader in the game, I could totally see him using like Sith powers as his basic attack. Like he just does like a blast of like force or something. And then in his
Yeah.
lore, he takes out the lightsaber and says something like, "Only now are you worthy for my lightsaber." And then it's something like that.
Yeah.
No, it needs to be like, yeah, you're in a duel, lightsaber duel. I can't
Or
just be
yeah.
chopping down survivors with it. It's no fun.
Mhm.
I can't stop thinking about that now. Now I want For Honor, but Star Wars.
You want Star Wars For Honor,
Yeah,
exactly. This
exactly.
thought
Yeah.
cannot leave your head once you think about
Thanks
it.
I
for
want to be
that.
General Grievous dueling Obi-Wan, but this
Yep.
time I win. I win. Well, not me, but you get the point.
No, you're
That'd be-
customizing your original like Jedi character, and you get
my
to pick the
God.
lightsaber color and like what force powers you have equipped, and
This
think
is my
about
OC of
it.
Leia
Exactly.
Skywalker.
A
She
lot of
uses the
games
Force and
survive
the
off
dark
that,
side.
letting you
She
just
also
build
has
your
4
OC in them.
lightsabers.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, great email, Blade. Thank you so much for emailing us. Listeners,
Thanks,
remember you can
Blade.
email us,
Thank you, Blade.
redstingradio@gmail.com. Again, we will getting to our backlog over the next few episodes, so please bear with us. Send us in your emails. Listeners, viewers, we greatly appreciate. Let me restart that. Listeners, viewers, we greatly appreciate your support. Don't forget to leave us a review and share the podcast with a family member or a friend. Send us an email if you'd like. Thank you, Stevie. Thank you, Maddie. Thank you, listeners and viewers. We will see you in the fog next week.
Thank you, Bryson.
Love ya.
Bye.